Joining me is criminal defense attorney and former White House official Geoffrey Nathan. Geoffrey, we've heard so far from Fiona Hill, from David Holmes. We heard what they had to say. Does their testimony, in fact, solidify what the Democrats have been saying all along?
They've got damaging information to the President of the United States, but to have it be malfeasance really isn't enough for impeachment. And frankly, Chairman Schiff keeps on using the words that, he's corrupt, but I'm not certain that corruption meets for the legal standards that is required for impeachment in accordance with the United States Constitution, frankly.
And Republicans have argued all along, this is a sham, this is a hoax. They say there was no investigation into Biden or his son. They say the security aid to Ukraine eventually went through to Ukraine. But putting legal issues aside, the optics here, it doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good to the president or his aides and officials. Frankly, if I were advising them, however, I would simply tell them to tell the American public the truth of what happened. And frankly, none of them were too terribly experienced in foreign affairs, and they should just tell the people what they did and apologize and ask the American public to let them move on. The damage was limited to the United States, frankly, and I'm not certain that all of this would result in an effective trial in the United States Senate. Remember, right now, this is a House proceeding.
We've seen attorneys from both sides question these witnesses. I mean, Fiona Hill, looking from the outside, epitomizes integrity and credibility. If you are the Republicans' lawyer, how do you shake up her testimony? What do you do to poke holes without totally messing up the entire process in this House hearing?
Well, President Trump likes to tell people that they're no good and that they're hacks. I myself have questioned Trump at fundraisers, and I can tell you that he runs the show here for the Republican side. He's going to want to bash their credibility. He's going to want to call them hacks and everything else under the sun, and that they're no good, and that the only one who's any good is him. I'm not so certain that that's going to be an effective strategy for him in the eyes of the American public. However, it may be effective for him in his pending Senate trial.
And none of this is doing any favors for President Trump's personal attorney, someone he's tried to distance himself from a little bit, Rudy Giuliani. According to Hill, John Bolton, former national security advisor, described Giuliani as a hand grenade who was going to blow up everybody, and suggested his actions are going to come back to haunt us.
Well, President Trump, let's go back to his early history, was protected by very effective attorneys at law in the United States who appropriately argued that his actions at all times were proper and legal, whether it be in discrimination lawsuits or anything else. And President Trump has been well served by his legal counsel. Whether he will continue to be well served by Rudy Giuliani, who's off in other countries doing his thing and selling his services and, purportedly holding himself off as counselor to the President of the United States, I don't think Giuliani is going to really be effective while he's trying to masquerade as a foreign policy expert while representing the President of the United States. So we'll see.
Forget effective. Could Rudy Giuliani face charges down the road?
Well, it used to be in the United States that law enforcement would go after attorneys whom they didn't like and didn't like their clients. Early on in the war against marijuana, the tactics of the United States Attorney's Office was to indict the attorney. That's why lawyers such as myself have to be extremely careful in who we pick as a client, and to make sure that our standards are above board and that we hew to the rules. And I think if Giuliani has done that, in fact, he'll be okay. If he's doing something that his client is instructing him to do, his defense is, look, I was just following my orders. So it all comes down to Donald Trump. And, everyone knows that Trump is running the show here from start to finish. No one does anything without Donald Trump's approval in this administration. And so to blame the lawyer, I don't like that too much.
All right, speaking from a lawyer, of course, Geoffrey Nathan, thank you very much.
Right.